trained as a painter, and I've painted ever since. Although now I'm beginning to do more conceptual work and installations. I, line up images that are like silhouettes, in a single file or row, and then they dominate the canvas. That borders on, the queuing scenarios that we find around here in the city of Lagos and elsewhere. Either they're queuing for fuel or for visa or for kerosene, the basic needs you have to queue, or pension, so that's I've been dealing with, and I'm still, doing it. From time I've done this series that borders on the plight of humanity, starting with my first solo exhibition in 1991, which I titled Tears in Our Time. Most of my work has carried this through, so that you have this feeling of suffering and pain and anguish, but not without hope, because of course we always find hope at the end of the tunnel. We find a way out in every situation. The concept of repetition, which has become a regular practice in my work now. I take an image or a symbol and then multiply them, fill the canvas space. And then for the Ordinary People series, I make out the images and then I begin to veil them, cover them up with white pigment, as if they are not there, they don't exist, they are nameless, they are faceless in a society. And of course that's what they've made them to be or become. They see them like nobody recognizes them, but they are there. They are human beings and they should be treated like one. This is storage for the objects and materials that I collect and pick on the streets before they go into the studio for meaningful work. I started surrounding myself with things and with objects about 5-6 years ago. The need to make something fresh, something challenging, something that is different, arose when I started getting uninterested with the traditional approach to painting, which is a brush and a paint and a canvas. So I started thinking of ways to make art new, make them fresh. The same way I veil the ordinary people so that they have this white pigment run over them.
Painting has moved far. It has advanced a lot in the last 100 years. And for people to be painting as if it was the 19th century is not acceptable today. So I'm really excited when I see an artist that's really pushing the boundaries and is experimenting. And in a way it's open-ended because we don't know where it's going to lead to. And that's how it should be. It should be able to keep you guessing, keep you thinking, keep you suggesting. And I think that's what Kainebi's art is beginning to do.
Because of the crowded, nature of this city, especially when you go to some places, you find 10 to 12 people live in a room, so somehow that begins to affect me, and I find myself creating things or packing things together. The issue of war in Sudan, Darfur, that of the Democratic Republic of Congo is so fresh in our minds, the genocide that were perpetrated, especially if you're concerned with plight of humanity and that which concerns Africans, they readily come to mind when you, create or when you want to make work. Picasso did that with Guernica when his village was bombed in Spain. People are not aware, not so aware, of art. They used to what they can recognize in a picture. So they used to market scenes and they used to, street scenes and Oshodi and the likes, but I'm not interested in, such themes, and so I paint what I want to paint. I paint from my heart. I paint from what I feel. I wasn't throwing my exhausted paint tubes away, so I was collecting them and keeping them somewhere in the studio. When I did this one, thoughts of rooftops came, to me, and I felt that, the pattern of these tubes, has the same, pattern of rooftops when seen from an aerial view. I make large-scale work. I do not consider the space that they go into before I make them. Because I want to challenge myself first to make the work. And that's a big challenge because I fill up my studio with large paintings and I don't know where they're going to go. I don't know who's going to buy them.